do have to clean the boat and organize, but I want to have a crack at doing something with at least one of these delaminating beams on the house top. I'm going to try to use some Tight Bond 3, which is good exterior glue, so it should be fine in here. I don't think I really need epoxy. What I'm going to do is try to get some glue in there without making too much of a mess, and then add, I think, 2 screws. Well, maybe 3. Maybe I do have to do a pattern like here and then one in the center. You can see that it was coming away all the way down there. I could try to open this up and get glue in there, but why tempt fate, you know? I'm going to go with screws pretty much just long enough to get this bonded to the next layer, not to go too deep. I don't think I'll need to clamp it. Yeah, I think the screws will do a decent enough job of clamping it. This first one is going to be kind of a test. Now, if there is any old glue in there, it may interfere slightly, but again, I don't want to take this apart. I don't think there's much debris in there. Probably wind up with one of these bristles in there, but yeah, okay. It's going to be messy, so I think I may mask at least the bottom part with some blue tape, just so if there's any dribbles, it'll be easier to deal with. Should probably put a drop cloth on the floor, on the soles rather. That'd be a good idea. And because, of course, it's not a straight line, it's arched, I'm going to have to cut away up to it somehow. This tape is pretty flexible, but I'd have to stand on something to get my eye right in there to line it up, and this is just easier. But it continues quite a way, doesn't it? Yes, it does. That's pretty good. Eventually I'm going to refinish, sand these down and refinish them. I don't want to get into that this summer. All right, next, I think before I apply glue, I'm going to mark out my holes, drill them. I'm not going to go deep and plug. That's part of the reason these are delaminating, is that the hardware that holds the handrails on up top, they're bolted on. There's a nut underneath somewhere, and you can't really see it too well on this beam. The others, there's definitely a big plug, but when they counterbored for that, they went all the way through the bottom later, so there's no mechanical force trapping it. That's part of the reason why they failed. That and, I don't know, old glue, 50 years, nearly 50 years. So I'm just going to go into that first layer. I'm going to try to put them in so that the head is flush. Try to make it as pretty as I can. These are 1 3/4, so that's 7/8. I don't like working overhead, I gotta admit. We'll make 3 marks. And that light, I could wear a headlamp, I guess. Nah. But I don't need a flexible straight edge. I need to use my carpenter's brain to use the tools I have, like this combo square. I'm just gonna try to make a continuous line at 7/8 from the aft face of this thing. I want to do 3. I think the thing to do is to divide this section into 4. So there'll be 1 in the center, and then divide those in half. What is our span here? inside. I'm actually inside there. 28. 14. And now the wind picks up. Yeah, now the boat's moving around. That's pretty good. And then 7 from there. Really don't want to add too. Maybe I'll divide that in half. I'll make this. I'll come another 3.5 here. Got to experiment. You just gotta try stuff. At this point, it's either that or, well, you know, I don't have the luxury of building this from scratch, so I have to get creative, see what works. Get that excess off in a moment. I think we're good there. Let's try to drive a screw. We'll start on the sides because I want to draw it. I don't want to risk pushing it the wrong way. Pretty good for a previously used screw. Be patient. Nice, very nice. Is that anywhere near flush? Oh, I'll get that with a hand driver in a minute. Pull the tape off first. Yep, it's closing up. I like it. Yeah, they definitely could go in deeper. I think we have succeeded. Or something like it. Is it too big? Yeah, that's too big. I'm gonna try to square it up so it looks pretty. Oh my goodness, that almost stripped. That's as far as that's gonna turn. These are not new. They're not wasted. Look at that, we're squeezing a little more. Not wasted or anything, but they're not new. They've been driven before. These were interior somewhere. Yeah, that's as much as I'm going to get out of that bronze without breaking it. Yeah, it's, I could probably use one more out there. Damn it. Well, I'll let that glue set and see what happens. At least it's not going to open up in the center anymore. But yeah, I see now I should have, it needs, ultimately it needs more. But that'll be good for now. All right, time to try another one. I think the 3 screws in the same positions will work. Quickest, easiest way to mark them out. Let me think. I think I might start, I have string. I think I'll start with the center line. I'll draw a center line across. Oh, I got that light in the way now. Never mind. Hold on a minute. Let me think. A minute's worth of thinking could save me a lot of time and blue tape. It's light enough. That works. And then we'll move this to the center. Put it right on my screw. No, on the screw, buddy. And I've got a screw there already on center, a nicely plugged screw. Okay, This, happily, I don't have to do anything with. Not yet, anyway. But yeah, we're gonna... All right. And now I can get rid of the string. Now, what did I say it was? From center 10.5 to either side. Seems awful close to that. Oh, wrong O, boy, oh, yeah. Yeah, it's 1 3/4, so 7/8. Oh. Oh, I've already got a hole there from the screw for the light, duh. All right, I've cleaned this gap out a bit, but you can plainly see, you can probably see the plug there. Whatever's there, I'm pretty sure there's nuts on the bottom. This layer is probably counterboard, and I'm kind of just touching the end of the bolt. But yeah, it didn't, there's no washer, it doesn't grab this bottom layer at all. Not that it would have to, it's pretty thin. If this proves unsatisfactory, I may take a chance to remove all these bolts somehow. I don't know. No, I'd have to take this off, but it would be nice to through bolt it and just have a nice finished, a finished washer, a nice bronze washer with a bronze like acorn nut, that caps the end of the thread. That would have been worth doing, but I totally get it. He wanted it to look nice and clean, and it did for a long time. You know what? I'm not going to do the tape to catch the drip, so I got to wipe it anyway, so. And I think, no, I still can't squirt this in because the angle doesn't work. The bottle keeps filling with air, so I got to keep working it in like this. I could probably use a brush on this part. No, this is good. This is neater. Yeah. I know a lot of it's going to get squeezed out. With this stuff, unlike the epoxy, squeezing it out is probably better. Now, if this were new construction, I would have primed. Oh, I just got glue on the camera mount. I would have primed both faces of the wood with glue, or at least wetted the surfaces to help the glue wick in, even though it's not end grain. But it's already primed. There's old glue, no doubt, sitting there on the faces. I'm kind of gluing glue together to some extent, which is why it may not work. We'll finish that by hand. It's already acting like it wants to strip. Proud. Do I have to back him out and recounter? I might have to. Didn't do a very precise job of counter sinking, as you can see. I didn't want to overdo it. I'd almost rather have him stick out a little tiny bit than be, than see bare wood around the edge of the hole. That pilot is much better. It's not so tight. Boy, this is a lot easier to clean excess off of than 610 or some other epoxy. Otherwise, I'd be confronted with having to refinish these like this week. I really don't want to do that. Much, much better. Now, I'm going to leave well enough alone with that one. That's fine. So, yeah. Cool. I'm going to take a little breather and then do the other two. There are more. That one there. That one there. It's delaminating. That's going to be tricky. I'm going to have to clear this off and crawl in here. And we've got more of that going on here. A couple of these also have a little rot at the ends. I can't show you in this shot, but this has just been annoying me for a long time. And this season, there will be climbing and sitting on that housetop, so it's good to get it a little more solid right now. All right, moving right along here. I've got some delamination on really just these two. The forward one is better. What's kind of weird is that it's separating here. I don't know if I'll even be able to get glue in there, but there was a screw already in here, but it was barely long enough to go through the bottommost layer. This one I'll have better luck getting glue in. Look at that. It's funny, it looks like the top two layers fit into a mortise. The top two layers of these, I think, I can't get my head in there. I think these go into a mortise in the beam that runs fore and aft, but the bottom two obviously do not. I've wrestled out some screws that I think will work. I don't think I'm going to really be able to get glue in there without breaking this free, which I would rather not do. Yeah, I'm going to try to pilot this again, get a longer screw in there. Countersink a little bit wider to accommodate the new screw. The new old screw, I should say, but it's bronze anyway. These are slotted, so this is going to be a pain. Got to find something to lubricate this with. I've got some soap here. I almost forgot I had a bar of soap in my little toiletry kit. I'm just gonna find a place to put my feet. Please don't fight me tooth and nail, little screw. This isn't awkward at all. Too big? Nope, just right. Come on. Yeah, it's sprung a little, but I'm over it. This one has two Phillips head screws in it. I have a feeling somebody tried to do this same operation earlier, but these screws are not long enough by any stretch. Let it go through the first layer. They're nice. They'll come in handy for something else. I think I'll just re-drill. Well, since I'm going to put glue in, maybe I should re-drill this one that's closer to the end and put a new screw there. I have barely enough, long enough bronze screws to do this. I don't want to use drywall screws. I don't really have a bit long enough to pilot for a 2.5 inch drywall screw. Well, that'll make the gluing easier, won't it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is mahogany. Oh, I see. It's really just a veneer. It's just for show. See here that this is the real thing here, but which is separated. It lays on the beam shelf outboard, but it doesn't go into the notch in the floor nap beam. But yeah, that'll make the gluing easier. It almost looks like there's no glue on this. But I do have to. Well, since it's cut at both ends, I'm going to put my new screw in the middle. I'm just going to pilot it out in place. It's already about the right size. No, they're dry, but they're very sound. So I'm going to have to do a double glue up here. Drag. Oh yeah. Again, not ideal, but a whole lot better than nothing. The screw is going to do a lot of the work, which is not the best way to do it, but I got to get some more on there. Let's get a good amount on there. Whoops. It's spurting. Okay, I think that'll do. Now it doesn't want to go back. Rubber mallet. That light going again. There we go. Now we can see. Oh, yeah, okay. Makes sense. Screw tip back in this. I'm going to finish that by hand because it's about to go. It seems to be bent slightly. It kind of is, isn't it? Squared up here. Yeah, I'm pretty well squared up. Just I don't know if I have a more appropriate bit. The holes may not be lined up perfectly. Oh, you know, I know what it is. Duh. I didn't ream this hole out. I did the middle one, didn't I? Or did I? I didn't. And I'm getting a little dust in there in the glue joint, but it's not going to interfere, I don't think. So awkward. Close that. Oh, it's a little off center. You know, they all are a little bit. The layers aren't perfect. I'm not undoing it. I could have put some kind of clamp on there to guide it, but it's pretty crowded in here already. Just want to make sure they're touching. They are. It's just this one's overhanging slightly. This is a little askew, unfortunately. thinking now, it might have been wise to use some epoxy instead of the tight bond. But what a mess to clean up. And one more quarter turn. Yeah, okay. That's about all it's going to do without stripping. Still got. I may have to. Kind of think I should drive another screw there because this bottom layer wants to be askew. That's pretty bad. Maybe I'll throw a clamp on there and put a wedge to hold it up while the glue sets, and also to line it up better. Ow. Not great, is it? I want to crush this. That's all right. With the light off, it's even better. Even though I have this deck light here. And this one, very solid. I'm not going to mess with it. This one is actually pretty good. That one, not so good. And on the starboard side, nah. You know, that one. Yeah, that's pretty bad. I gotta see what screws I have. Might take that eye out and put a screw in there instead. I don't really use that eye. There's eyes. I mean, you could string a storage hammock across there. I can always put it back. It's not like I'm gonna throw it away. All right, so I just did this one. There was already a screw added to this one, which is fine. So I added another, the same size at the same distance from the end. It was delaminating way up here, but only on the inboard end. That should be good for a while. What's next? Yeah, this one. It's delaminating and the bottom two layers are askew. Oh, okay, I can line them up. I'm going to take this out. I think I'm going to try temporarily driving a drywall screw in at this point. Yeah, I think I'm going to back this out and maybe drive a drywall screw in there temporarily just to suck this up with some glue in there, get it all lined up. I might even let it set like that before I do any more drilling and screwing. I'm running low on bronze screws. I may continue the rest of the day with the drywall screws just to get them all sucked up and glued back and, you know, happy, and then come back and drill and repile it and put in better screws. Over the settee now. Reclined under here, I can see that this one has 1, 2, 3 screws added there. So, although that could be the original build. All right, we got that out. And as we can see, that really didn't go very deep. I gotta, the only long bits I have are too big. All right, a 2-inch drywall isn't too bad. That may be good enough to do it, but I still have to pile it through the second layer at least somehow. I might have gone too deep because that pilot bit was a little bit thicker than this screw, but let's see. I have 3-inch screws. I could drive one and block out the bottom of it. Yeah, yep. Guess I'm going to have to. And then I'll take it out, put glue in here, and redo it. Here's where it's going to get a little fussy. I'm going to get a kneel on the settee. Okay, sort of. I gotta line these all up before I can even drill a hole. I need room to drill it, so I gotta do this from the other side. That's pretty good. Yeah, I think that will do. Just kidding. Go to higher speed. Not too shabby. Now, because I have alignment from the screws, I should be able to glue without clamping this way. Yeah, it's still not perfect, but I don't think it ever really was dead perfect. A lot of this is not. And I'm still remembering what the wise man once told me: people don't look up. So I don't need the tape on the face of this teeth because the glue won't be involved. Right, these come out now. So I don't know if I can really get any glue in that lower gap without really disturbing things. I'm going to try to get some in the upper gap. This may be notched into the 4.5 beam somehow because it does not have a lot of play. It had to have been glued at one time. It had to. How can I get any glue in there? And what am I going to stick in there that won't be in the way? It's very, very tight at the end. I can see it better on my side. I'm not going to move the camera. It's very tight here and very tight there. I can't really open it up without putting something right in the middle. And if I'm not going to use glue, there's no point in doing the temporary screwing. I got to try to get some glue in there somehow. I just got to. I'm just going to get a chisel in from this side. Just a little tiny bit in the middle without glue on it. Take that out. That's about as much as I dare. Alignment wise, right, it should take care of itself. Take that chisel out. I didn't get a lot of glue in there, but it is what it is. A little squeeze out. That gap feels pretty good. I'll stand up and look at it in a minute, or sit up, or whatever it is I'm doing under here. Okay. No. Well, no. Yeah, it's not quite there yet. Damn it. I don't want to add a third screw. Not. What is the answer? I could cut a piece of something and make a dead man that stands under here and pushes up on it from the settee. Maybe, but I really don't want to make a third hole. Maybe the answer is to I could backfill it, but that's, I don't know if that's going to do any good. I mean, it's got no give. I kind of want to sleep in the settee tonight. I don't want to stick right in the middle of my bed. I'm planning on leaving tomorrow morning. It'd be cool if I had a clamp that also had a threaded, I don't know, that's got to be a thing. Some kind of two-way clamp, so that I could just dial it up. But I think I would have to clamp this so hard to get this to move that I would damage my finish or just make a dent in the wood. I don't think it, excuse me, I don't think a dead man is going to work either. I got dust in my mouth. I'm going to try to backfill it and wipe off the excess. And there, it just didn't all squeeze out. Forgive me, purists and competent boat builders. Forgive me. Mea culpa. Yeah. Would have been wise to put a little sawdust in there so the color will match. But again, let's keep in mind that's what you normally. Oh yeah, with of course the deck light right there kind of highlights it, doesn't it? Whatever. I'm over it. I'm just trying to make this more sound right now. It's going to be all right. I will probably break down eventually and drive a third screw in there. Moving forward, I see a little movement here with this guy. That's a big span. I could probably, this being a longer span, I could probably, if I take the stanchion out, I could open this quite a bit, at least to get some glue in this gap, although it tightens up right here. I don't actually need to remove the stanchion because it's free to pop out of the top of this bracket. I've removed it before. The question is, my screws, however, are perilously close to that seam. Oh, you can see that, yeah. So I should probably remove them to get more movement out of this. There's a gap up there too. I don't think I can get that to move. There's one screw here that might suck that up if I get a longer screw. Well, let's have a looky though. Well, I just noticed that there is no screw here and there was no screw here. There were. I didn't remove them. So I think that explains a lot about what's going on here. Ooh, I've got a little bit of mold going on there. I gotta deal with that. That's a pretty damn long screw. It goes past this gap. I think the first thing I'll do is transfer it to here. I don't know if you can see, I don't like how one of those, I may move the bracket for this stripper pole slightly so I'm not putting a hole right back, screw right back in the seam. That's kind of bogus. Not to throw shade at the builder, I don't think this pole was part of the original build. This interior has been modified, as far as I know. Unfortunately, I don't have pictures of the old interior. I just heard stories. Yeah, so now, why am I so itchy? Stop hanging on to that, buddy. It's not secure anymore. How much can we move this now? Quite a bit. Oh, and we got delamming there too. I'll bet you, although do I want to do it? I'll bet you this bottommost layer, yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't go onto the beam shelf. I think though if I take one more screw out of each end of it, I can open that gap up a lot more. No, that's not rotten. That's just bad varnish. All right, let's see if I can do this without repiloting anything. doesn't really want to go. Come on. Kind of closed up on the forward face, but not this face. So it's twisted a little. No. Ah, geez. Wow, that didn't close up at all. Really? I mean... It's certainly long enough. I don't have a piece of lumber long enough to make a dead man here. I may have to just kind of wait on this one until I get the until I get around to redoing the deck. I'll put one back in here. I don't think that glue is going to be a problem. If I have to scrape it out to redo it, I have to scrape it out. I did get a good grab on the bottommost layer, so that's good. So if nothing else, I will have accomplished that.